Hi everyone, hope you guys are all having a great day. Today I'm going to be going over BlackBerry's Q4 fiscal year 2023 conference call and numbers. I did go over a lot of the numbers in the last video, so this is going to be more focused on what they mentioned during the conference call, but I'll still do a year over year and quarter over quarter comparison. I'm going to go over the stock performance and how you could expect the stock to perform overall through technical analysis. And yeah, some other additional tidbits here and there. First thing to cover is BlackBerry's annual shareholders meeting for 2023 will be held virtually on June 27th, 2023 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you have any questions, just head over to BlackBerry's website, BlackBerry's investors webpage, and ask questions so it can be answered during this virtual meeting. Next thing I'm going to be covering is the points that were through the conference call. So Pateo, they did have a design win, or BlackBerry had a design win with Pateo last year. And now during this conference call, they said that Pateo is using BlackBerry Ivy as of now, so that's awesome. So hopefully revenue comes in with that portion, not substantially because we still need way more partners, not just one, to see a good chunk for BlackBerry Ivy business to bring in good amount of revenue for the quarters. But also Amazon AWS is using BlackBerry Ivy. But remember, BlackBerry and Amazon are partnered up for BlackBerry Ivy, and it's a 50-50 partnership. Then general availability of Ivy is in May, which has already passed, so that's good. So now we see a BlackBerry Ivy being available, so that's awesome. Now we have a government contract postponed till next quarter. So it was mentioned last quarter that for Q4, there's going to be a big government contract that most likely won't hit it. It's going to be hit into Q1, but I still haven't seen anything or heard anything, so most likely it's probably going to be Q2, but that does play a role because it would have helped out this quarter because we would have had a year-over-year increase and a year-over-year or a quarter-over-quarter increase. But we'll see how that is moving forward. They also mentioned the BlackBerry and Adobe partnership, which was mentioned before the conference call. I believe it was about a week or 2 weeks before the conference call came out anyway. The good thing is that they mentioned was the security is at government level and it's the top of the industry. The reason why I'm mentioning this as well is the partnership, what they're doing is basically like a DocuSign kind of thing, but for Adobe. And not necessarily looking at the market cap, it's not really a big deal, but it's at 10.9 billion. BlackBerry's at 2.96 billion. The main thing we're going to look at is the revenue. So DocuSign's annual revenue is at 2.56 billion for 2023. Obviously, Adobe's going to keep a good chunk of all the revenue that's going to be coming in for that partnership, I would assume, just because BlackBerry's just providing the security portion of it. But I hope that BlackBerry made a good deal where they're getting a decent chunk of revenue from that. And then that way they would help out the quarters moving forward. So we'll see how that goes. Then we have BlackBerry mentioned that they're trying to monetize the remaining patents with a third-party company. So they did sell, like I mentioned in the last video, their patents, and they mentioned in the conference call that they sold less patents than the previous deal that they were expecting to do for more money. So that's good, obviously. The only thing is, though, the money is not upfront. Like I mentioned in the last video, it's more broken down into years and milestones, but we'll see how it is. The main point that they mentioned was they're trying to monetize remaining patents through royalty, not necessarily selling them through a third-party company. And then they also mentioned that they're looking to lower earnings per share loss. So there always seems to be in the negative in the terms of earnings per share. Hopefully they start moving to the positive. And then they say they want to be profitable this fiscal year, which is awesome. And I already mentioned the retail investor day. So now we're going to move over to the quarterly information. Sorry. So on March 30th, 2023, fiscal year Q4, fiscal year 2023, total company revenue came in at 151 million. IoT came in at 53 million. Cybersecurity came in at 88 million. Licensing and other revenue came in at 10 million. And non-GAAP basis loss per share was at 2 cents. There was a goodwill that I mentioned in the last video as well, which made it even worse, but that's what it is. And we have fiscal year 2023, total company revenue came in at 656 million. Now, if we look at last year, same time frame, Q4, March 31st, 2022, total company revenue came in at 185 million. If we look at this quarter, obviously it was 151 million, so 34 million decrease. So year-over-year decline. IoT came in at 52 million. So we got year-over-year growth, which is not much, but by 1 million only growth. Cybersecurity revenue came in at 122 million last year. This year came in at 88 million, so quite a bit of a hit. And then the rest is not really much to mention, to be honest, but we'll just skip over to total company revenue. Total company revenue came in at 656 million. So, 718 million for the last year, same time, and then 656 million this time. So obviously year over year decline as well. And so yeah, it's not really greatest performance, but if we did have the big government contract that did come in, I would assume it'd be a little bit bigger than 34 million, or at least within 34 million. Who knows? Somewhere in that ballpark. So we either less year-over-year decline, or it would be year-over-year growth, depending on how big the contract is. But they're saying it's pretty big. That's why it's taking some time to complete it. So I don't know. We'll see until the details come out. Now, if we look at last quarter, so quarter over quarter, December 20th, 2022, fiscal for third Q3, total company revenue came in at 169 million. So obviously quarter over quarter decline, 151 right there. So yeah. And then IoT came in at 51 million. So quarter over quarter growth for the IoT. So IoT is pretty much staying stable for the most part. Then we have cybersecurity at 106 million for last quarter and 88 million. So quarter over quarter decline. And then we have, yeah, basically loss per share, 1 cent. And we had 2 cents. So it's even worse. Damn. But yeah, so that's that. But the conference call was good. I would say the conference call was good. The only problem is that just the numbers are not great. It's taking some time to, unfortunately, the stock takes to start growing. But we'll see how it is. It looks like it's a long-term hold completely. Now, if we go over to the stock performance, if we look at the stock overall, like I mentioned in the last video, there's this downward trend resistance line. Again, not the cleanest line, but hopefully you get the idea. Like it tried to go up here, got declined. Try to go up here, got declined. Try to go up here, got declined before the earnings. And then earnings ended up coming out and then just spiked up. And then we went down a little bit and then basically have been flatlined. So with flatline, for the most part, you could expect to either go up substantially or down substantially. But hopefully the earnings is good, which will be coming out on June 28th, give or take, in 2023. But I just wanted to show in terms of the MACD line and the RSI. So MACD is basically showing the momentum, if it's positive or negative. And then the RSI is if it's oversold or overbought. So if we just look at the overall trajectory for the all, at one point, it looks like it's trying to cross over to positive. So last time it crossed over to positive, this was basically with all the meme stocks, and it was a substantial jump. There's other times of same thing, substantial jump right about here. You can see where it was red and then green and substantial jump. It's not guaranteed though, because some of them could be short-lived, FYI. Like right about here, if you were anticipating it was going to cross at one point, you could just see declines. So, but none of these are guaranteed, by the way. These are just potential helping indicators, potentially, right? So yeah, so if we look at the long-term trend, there's that. But then if you look at the short-term trends, not all of them are indicating to the upside, but some of them are. So if we go to 6 month, it's indicating that it's going to cross over to a positive soon. We're not in oversold. We're not in oversold, but we're not in overbought. We're like somewhere almost in the mid-range, so there's still potential. The 3 month as well, it's trying to stay in the green and spark up a new green spike. We're in the mid as well. The 1 month showing to cross over to a positive, still in the mid-range as well, so that's good. The 5 and 1 day, there's no point because it's just too short term. The problem is in the 1 year and the 5 year. So the 1 year, it looks like it's like kind of trying to drop too, but we're above the moving averages, so it could probably drop a little bit and go up to bounce off the moving averages. And then the 5 year is in the positive, so that's good, but it could try to come down, but it has tried to come down a couple times. But every time it tried to come down, you can see right here, it would bounce back up. So I don't know, but the moving average here is about $4.84, FYI. So yeah, so if the big government contract comes in for the Q1 earnings, I could expect the stock to spike up, especially since technically the movement is indicating to the upside. It's just if it doesn't, I could see it bouncing off some critical point level price points, somewhere in the $4 price point. But hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully the stock moves up overall. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, consider subscribing. Drop a thumbs up, like if that helps out the channel. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, drop them down below so I can answer them. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible, and I'll try to post more consistently. Again, I apologize for constantly just posting and then disappearing a little bit, and then posting and disappearing a little bit. But I'm gonna try to stay consistent. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for the support overall. Appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.